Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? We got about a minute till the market opens. It is Friday, August 13th, 2021, coming off of a crazy bull run yesterday after testing the lower bearish extreme bounds. We bounced off, rocketed on a crazy nonstop bull day. And it appears in pre-market, we're going to continue that right now. Currently sitting at 445.48. The futures and NASDAQ have both raged all through pre-market, bouncing off the lows and skyrocketing again. And we're reaching yet again all-time highs. We've got 20 seconds till the market opens. I'm going to be maintaining the August 16th contracts, and I'll probably be going with the 447 calls and 443 puts. But I'll update accordingly as the Greeks update when the market opens. Welcome. How's everybody doing? If you're new to the YouTube chat, welcome. Thanks for being here. If you are for the first time. And then, yes, I'm also on the Patreon stream as well, so you can do either one. If you want to do video here and the voice on the Patreon because there's no lag on the Patreon, you're welcome to do so. All good options regardless. And there is the market open. And, yeah, so FAANG is off the bat is pretty flat, a little green and red mix, but flat altogether. Green candles here on the SPY. Right now, NASDAQ is green out the gate, 0.07 positive. Red candles right there forming. Same thing with futures and SPYs here. So, yeah, I'm going to be kind of being reactive a little bit today. Not too sure what to expect in the terms of today because of what happened yesterday. I'll be playing things pretty tight, seeing how the morning ranges form, watching that VIX, of course, and formulating my strategies here. VIX is currently down to 1540, dropping below. We haven't seen this low in quite a while. I think beginning to mid-July is when the last time the VIX has been this low. So, what's up, Andrew? How you doing? WazD, yeah. Make sure I'm going to check Patreon, make sure everybody can hear me. I can hear nothing in the Patreon chat. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. Check. Can everybody hear me? All right, hold on a second. Oh, I know why. What about now? How they hear me? I think I fixed it. There we go. Cool. Fixed it. All right. Good to go. Yep. So now we're live in the Patreon chat. Had some settings to adjust. Red candles here on the SPY right in the morning after coming up on this crazy run. Looks straight line since 9 o'clock Central yesterday. We just been straight line climbing all the way to 455 after bouncing off 422.67, 422.62. That was if we closed below 422.62 yesterday, it was going to get hairy in terms of today. But obviously we came down, faked us out, and has been off to the races ever since then. So definitely interesting in terms of what's going to go on. Good morning, Stanley. How's it going? 2 million open interest for 820 SPY puts. Yeah, I think everybody and their mother is thinking about puts right now, including the big guys. So we're reaching that 1 month point where we do our 1 month cyclicals, where kind of things flush in and out of the market and have that rotation. And we're getting pretty close to that. Last time we bounced off the 50 on July 19th. We're nearing that. We're just shy of it. So that's not guaranteed. It doesn't mean it's going to happen because sometimes it takes a month and a half. Sometimes, back before Corona, it was taking 3 months. But we just need to be aware of the signs in the event that that does happen. We want to be aware of it. Be on our toes. Qs right now. Let's take a look. Qs are big red at the gate. That seems to be the very common theme with the tech sector the past few weeks. Is it tanks right out of the gate, and it either keeps tanking or it climbs. It just happens. See, look, tanking here. Tank there. Tank there. It's just over and over again. Tech sector just keeps tanking right out of the gate. And looks like today is no different. Let's just see if it rebounds. SPY is double red here. VIX is climbing up here. 1540. XLK is sideways. Financial sector is kind of flat. Bonds are up. NASDAQ is red than green. Futures right there. So yeah. So my strategy is to keep things close to the chest and keep things close to the chest, be ready for this coming week. I know I want to have everything in place and be ready to go. So I'll be playing a little more conservative today with a little unexpected air up here and then formulate a new strategy next week. Yes, I am, Amgam. I'm live on YouTube today. Fridays. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm live on YouTube. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, I am live on Patreon chat. Another announcement when it comes to the Patreon, after we hit 450 people in I've limited the $5 option air roll, so now it closes at 450 people. There's currently 416 people in the $5 roll. After it hits 450, I'll be closing that and changing it to $10 a month. So be aware of that. So lock in your price. Once you're in the $5, you'll be grandfathered in and maintaining the $5. So if you do want to get in now while it's $5, and then it goes up to 10. So just a way to do this full time and to dedicate more resources to the Patreon. Looking at 816, 447, 44. Let me take a look at the deltas here. I'm yapping my gums. August 16th, 447s. Yeah, the delta's a little skewy there. There's lower than usually lower than when I usually play. The deltas right now are 2.5s. Super low premiums here, man. The implied volatilities, wow. This is the lowest implied volatility I've seen in months. 5.78% on the calls. Wow, these premiums are cheap. Holy crap. Nobody's buying this crap. That's why. I mean, they're so incredibly cheap. No one's buying this crap. Well, I'd appreciate that, Jace. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yep, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. Implied volatility is 5.7%. That's why these premiums are so incredibly cheap. Nobody wants to buy these calls up here. It's ridiculous. What's the volume like? Low volume on these calls, and these are short-dated calls. That's surprising. I mean, it's not surprising. It's very telling. The put volume is way, way higher than the call volume right now. So, yeah, and the implied volatility is much higher as well. And what does that tell you? What does the market expect it's going to do? You got to learn to read that implied volatility. I mean, that volatility tells you what the market wants to do. It tells you what the sentiment is. How'd you do yesterday? I missed the long entry when SPY climbed above the morning range. I didn't touch it. I had a 14% win in pre-market with trading futures options, but I did not make a play during the day. It just when I saw it dip down to my bullish level or bearish level, I'm sorry, and then bounce and then skyrocket. This kind of like choppy volume thing. I couldn't get a read. Every time I thought it would pull back, it just kept on raging. And I elected, you know what? I'm just going to take the day off, chill. It's not the typical trend day. Usually I can catch a good trend day. Yesterday I couldn't read it, so I just elected to sit that one out, which is fine. If I can catch half the trend days, that checks my box of 1 to 2 big wins a month, and that's all I need. So play conservative, play for the long run. That's fine, McLovin. Nice, NL. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that for sure. All right, a little bit of red coming out here. Not much movement at all. There's currently 40 cents worth of movement after the bell has rung. Qs are right smack in the middle. VIX is falling off 1536, XLK, XLF, and the NASDAQ right there. So not much movement right now. Let's see if it'll be a nice range day. That's correct, Bryson. Yeah, those who already are on the $5 roll will stay $5. Nothing will change. You don't have to do anything. You just go on and go about things. So it'll just be locked for no one else can join the 5, and it'll be 10. It shouldn't change as you zoom in and out. It should change on time frames, but not when you zoom in and out. Leafy. So 44528 red coming down right below the 34 on the 3-minute. Let's zoom to the 5. Here, I'm going to zoom out to show you all the 1-year chart. Here's the 1-year. Let's kind of zoom out here. So we've got this leg up on this bull candle. Came down, almost hit that bearish level, and then boom. So when you've got a dragonfly doji that's red on top here, and you've got a candle that wicks down below and closes below that low, that's a bearish signal. That's why I was looking to see if we were going to round down. But we just gapped up, man. We just popped above there, closed higher, and here we're gapping up again. We need this. We'll see how this candle rolls. Signals say we're going to climb higher today, but in terms of volume and implied volatility, there's not much momentum to drive this baby up. But we will see. Green candles right there. 50-cent range at this moment. Not too much going on here. Q's, hey, big green candles on the Q's. NASDAQ is red, then Q there, green there. There's the futures are green, NASDAQ's green following up, and financials are rolling over here while the bonds are up here. So I'm sure there's going to be some risk off going into next week. Well, that's up to you, Chris. You're welcome to do so. I'd highly appreciate it for sure. So definitely. Yeah, sure, I can do that. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate you joining the community. Good morning. Yep. Man, this big green candle here on the SPY here, still not much movement in terms of the amount of move, but definitely a green candle here. Looking around, FAANG is starting to turn pretty red after a nice strong movement yesterday, but that's been the name of the game the first few minutes of the day, the past week or so. I mean, it happens sometimes. They're not entirely correlated in terms of inversely related. That's normally how it plays out, the inverse relation, but it doesn't have to do that. Right now, with the implied volatility be this low, it doesn't play by normal rules necessarily. Implied volatility is just so incredibly low that anything is going to fluctuate the market. You just got to be on your toes. When things are this low here, things are going to be on your toes. And like when volatility starts spiking, I mean, you'll see implied volatility on these contracts go from 5% where it is now up to 15, 17, 20% if we get a big move. And that's the thing we have to watch out for. You just want to make sure you're on the right side of that. Dirty Dusty. Well, there's nothing wrong with playing a put overnight. We're just not quite there yet. You don't want to gamble, like roll the dice and hope that we're running a put overnight. Obviously, I'm sure you weren't trying to do that, but when you hold a put overnight, you have to be very diligent, especially in this market where we continue to climb. So you have to have a system in place. For me, if we had closed, if we were looking like, if you were coming along the 3 o'clock, the 4 p.m. Eastern time frame where the market's about to close, and on the 1 year chart, we look like we're below that 422.62 and gapping down, sure, it's a good chance you might have a follow-on candle of the bearish sentiment rolling over and take a put. But we close higher than the day before on very strong momentum, so that you just don't want to take a put there. You have to look for that follow-on candle and expect that, and that's what we're getting today. But we can always talk about that more. Hey, today is Friday the 13th. Just noticed that. Not yet. There was a good conversation in Patreon this morning in the chat room about swinging long-term DTEs when the time is right. And my biggest plays, my biggest returns were when I swung the 3-week DTEs that I played. But you have to play them right. Just because you're building in 3 weeks DTE, you can't count on them coming back, because if you're wrong, you'll get destroyed on those too. Because then you have to wait. If you're wrong, you got to wait the 3 or 4 days you're wrong, and then for it to rebound and come back in your direction. It's not fun. Then you've got stress that you're holding on to this thing for 2 weeks, and you want to be very diligent with those things. So, there will be time to swing the 3-week dated puts, just like I did back in the fall. And I may actually do that because the time's coming where we're going to come back down to that 435, 433 level at least. So, and that's the plan. You know, you want to be diligent. You want to be like a sniper, man. See the time. And even if you're wrong by about a day, you want to limit the amount that you're wrong. And you want to limit the quantity. So if you buy a put before a crazy bull run, you're going to get killed out of a position. But I don't mind buying it a day early as long as like we're still in that chop phase, because a 3-week dated, you're not going to lose too much on there before we actually start that downturn, and the other way around too. I do, Matt. I do. You can see if you go into the Discord, take a look at my trade log. I mean, that's just from April. You'll see that I have a very good win rate, and I've been beating the market on the returns. July was one of the biggest months of my career, so it was a fantastic month. So yeah, it's all about the big thing. You can learn the technical prowess, all that stuff. It's all about. And I'll say this a million times. It's all about your emotions. If you have to know when to sit on your hands and not trade, especially in this new online internet trading communities where like people are like, oh, you got to buy. Why aren't you buying? Let's buy. Let's make a lot of money. It's like, no, dude. Sometimes it's good just to sit on your hands and watch, just to figure out what's going on. And I'm very good at doing that. I'm very good at knowing when to do that and when to know when to turn it on, when to turn it off, when to walk away, when to sit here and trade for 8 hours a day, making 6-7 trades. And that's what I hang my hat on, is controlling the emotional side of things, knowing when to do it. Right now, I am on the 3-minute here, and SPY is not moving too much. 445.60, currently trading a little 50-cent range. Qs are kind of doing this thing, barcoding big wicks back and forth. Can't really figure out what it's doing. VIX is still falling, 1523. Oh, big green candles in the NASDAQ here. That may take things higher as XLB there. F is falling. SPY may have to play some Q calls if this keeps up. And what happened yesterday, the trigger that happened yesterday was the rotation into the financial sector. Because if you notice, this is the Qs. The Qs were not bad. They had the sell-off, bounce up, and then they raged, of course. Financial sector, where was it? It was very weak all morning, just terribly weak. The bonds were very strong yesterday. And then they had this big rotation, and look what happened, XLF. Like we popped, SPY kind of popped out of the range, stayed there, and look at XLF. The rotation into the XLF just gapped up, gap up, just raged, and that just sent SPY skyrocketing. All that money coming into the market just made it skyrocket. And we've been consolidating it for like 3 weeks straight. All right, SPY's big jump on this green candle, 445.75. And VIX continues to fall 1519, implied volatility. All right, August 16th, 447. Man, these things are just so low. The deltas on these are 0.3, 48 cents each on these. All right, 445.82. Tesla is green there. All the FAANG is flipped back green. Let's look at everything else here. Tech, financial still rolling over. B's, E's, V. A lot of volatility at the healthcare sector. You can kind of see it's doing these big swings. There's the bond chart right there. We're pretty much risk off here since August 4th, coming down 151. Now we're down to 145 is where we jumped at yesterday. It looks like money could start coming back into there, which is indicative of the dip. We start having take money off. Let's look back here on July. Look what happened. So July 19th is when we got the bounce in SPY. Let's take a look at this 1-year chart on the bonds. So July 19th is where SPY bounced and it started going crazy. And we like it was what, 430s, 20 something. I don't know what it was. So let's look at what happened. July 13th, we hit lows. Bonds started coming out. Money started pouring into the bonds. Look what happened on July 19th. We had these highs of bonds because money was just fluctuating out of the market into the bonds, taking risk off. And look what happens. July 20th, July 19th, we peak out and then we tank. And then we had that big rush. These 2 days here, the 20th and 21st, we had those big gap ups in the SPY because money was fluctuating, just rocketing, rotating right into the market, coming to risk on. They wanted to take a little more risk, make a little more money, and they got up there. And now we've kind of had this upward trend as the sideways trend right here. We kind of popped up here. And then as SPY has been skyrocketing, you see the money coming out of bonds. Boom. Here's the bonds, money coming out of bonds. Now we've kind of bottomed out 145.43, which is kind of indicative. Okay, we're back to these July 19th levels. Let's go back to the July right here. 144.64. We're kind of 145. We're in that range where the bonds are at the bottom. And people are fully hedged. They've got their money out of the market. And we're kind of lining up with the sentiment of, all right, we're going to start our dip down with our 1 month cyclical here with SPY. We reached all these times high. Implied volatility is super low. There's nobody buying calls. The volume on the options chain is very low on calls. You got the bonds are super low and they're looking like they're going to bounce. VIX is at all-time low. We haven't been this low on VIX since the beginning of July. So everything is kind of lining up cohesively with we are going to pull back. And this is what I mean. You have to look at the entire market and know what's going on, figure out what's going on. So now that we're at 445.52, that green candle sold off. Big red candle there. So we're kind of at that point where we do need to figure out, when are we going to take our 3-week put? And when are we going to put that put into play? Can I make a video on implied volatility? Yeah, I can. It wouldn't be a very long video, but I could do that. A little 3-minute video. That'd be good. So I just want you all to really get used to looking at the market, figuring out how all of it, like there's a reason why I've got all this crap on my watch list right here. These aren't just all nice little pretty green and red names and numbers to look at. Every one of these has a purpose. And I'm looking at it. And that bonds is a big teller of how the money fluctuates in and out of the market. August 16th, 447 calls, currently trading at 46 cents a piece. Let me look at the SPXs. August 16th, the August 16th SPX calls. Let's look down here. Options chain. I've got volume. Even these are low volume. These are 3-day DTE, and these are low volume here. Open interest is 3,000, 4,000 on those, 44.85. So I will do. I'm going to do the 44.85s. And on the puts, 44.55, 44.85, 44.55. Then SPY, I'm going to do the August 16th. 447 calls, and then the 441 puts. Because it's lagging, Peter. It's lagging. Like you see, the bonds tanked or went up yesterday, and SPY tanked, and then the bonds tanked, and then SPY rocketed. And now you kind of have this rotation back into neutral, but you have to look at that overall picture. And you don't really notice it until you have big egregious moves. Big egregious moves here. So, and now you see it. You zoom it out to the 1-year chart. You see how the pattern is starting to form. Money is already, all right, money's been coming out of bonds. That's why you see this kind of like melt up the past week or so into all-time highs. And now you're looking at the money starting to come back into bonds. So I only buy out of the money options on SPY. I get better return for them. I like them. They've always treated me very well. The deltas on those are actually, I mean, everything is so low, like it's throwing off my, it's like it's outside of the bounds of normal stuff here. The volume on there's super high volume on the 442s. Actually, I'm going to change it to 442s actually. There, 442 puts. Yeah, the super high volume. Everything is so low. The implied volatility is low. Like the premiums are skewed differently than what I usually do. So, I'm just playing with what I currently have today. It's a 3DTE. All right, 14722 on the bonds here. It's spiking up. SPY is holding the top here, but barely. We have a very tight range so far. Yeah, options volume is very, very bearish. Right now, options volume, if you're going by that, is very bearish. Actually, let's look at the Titan flow data. All right, let's see here. Titan flow. All right, I got still super low. Everything's a super low. 3.29 puts on SPY, 1.83 calls on SPY, just super low. Even less than 1 million on Qs, just nothing. What is Titan, as in Titan, Titan flow. It's an app that goes over the options chain and it goes through volume, block orders. It shows you where the money's flowing in and out of the market in terms of calls and puts. That's the dollar right there. Dollar's down to 92 and a quarter. Q's there. See, NASDAQ is kind of fluctuating up there. So is the E's. XLF is down. Bonds are still climbing. Interesting here. Interesting. Yeah, they do have a free version, Michael. Yep. It's weird playing premiums this low. Not used to playing premiums this low, but it is. All right, so still hanging out. Not much going on at all. There's just nothing. There's no movement, which it doesn't really surprise me. VIX down here is 1528 after bouncing off this 1528 level. So XLK still coming up as bonds continue to fall. XLF is continue to fall. So, yeah. Just be careful with those, Scion. Just be careful. They're super low because the implied volatility is so low, Lee-Rat. Watch that. Look at that implied volatility. It's down in the 5s. Just super, super low. All right, red coming back down here as the Nasdaq's up. Futures are, oh, look at that. The futures are getting smoked. Financial sector's getting smoked because of the bonds. Ah, man. Man. I love it. Ron, yeah, I'm going with the shorter DTEs for a couple of reasons. One, the implied volatility is so low, nothing's moving. Nothing's moving much here. And one, two, I expect a chop day today. I just want to take advantage of a little bit of volatility in the event that I do make a play here. So I decided to go with a little bit shorter DTE more than usual here. My whole theory today is to keep my powder dry, keep things protected, protect my profits for next week. I haven't had many plays this week, but I've nailed all of them. So I'm looking to protect my profits. I'm up a couple of grand this week. It's fine with me. It's a lower week, but hey, right now it's an unexpected time. It's a confusing time, and I want this thing to roll. So, and I'm waiting for next week. All right, so we rejected this 44586 coming down to 44514. This looks like we're coming off 70 cents. Q's there. VIX spiked 1550. XLF is selling off hard with this rotation into the bonds, and SPY is there. Man, just like 30 people just joined onto the Patreon. Y'all apparently want to take advantage of that $5 rate. Awesome stuff. Thank you for joining. For anyone who just joined, like 45 of you just joined, so thank you for joining the community. Let me know if you ever have any questions, and of course, if you make sure you link your Discord role to your Patreon, it'll automatically set up your Discord role for you. It'll get you access to the Patreon rooms, the Patreon voice chat, and it'll give you the nice little gold color on your name. So. All right, so we have this red candle right here, 44521, as the Qs are rolling over. XLK and XLF is still getting whooped as the bonds have money coming into it, man. So everything is set up perfectly. It's teed up. The bags are packed. It's time to go home. Let's send them home. Let's send them home. Time to go home there, SPY. Now, the trick is, when do we pinpoint? When do we pinpoint when to take these puts and then ride off into glory? 44532. There you go, Chris. Why isn't my name gold? I'm a member. Go into your Patreon profile and link up all your credentials for the Discord. If that still has some problems, message me or one of the moderators in Discord, and we'll get that sorted out. It's been some people is having some issues with it. I know a lot of people somehow managed to create multiple different Discord profiles, and that messes it up as well if you've got more than one. So just let us know if you can't get it. We'll get it worked out. Right now, I'm looking at the August 16th strikes, 447 and 442s. 447 calls, 442 puts for SPY. In terms of the 3 weeks, when I take the 3 week, actually, let's figure that out together right now. 1 second. All right, options chains. Let's see. I'd probably do 1, 2, 3. Beginning of September sometime, probably the 3rd or the 6th. And let's see what they took a look at. September 3rd. And let's see what the 50 MA would be. So let's take a look. Somewhere there. Somewhere in the mid 438s, mid 430s. Mid to upper 430s is what I'd do the strike. I'd probably do 440. I'll just do 440. So it would probably be September 3rd for, man, even these things are high premiums. Implied volatility of those is 15%, 14%. So let's do probably about 440s, which is $3 a piece right now. Look at that. Q's got bought up there. NASDAQ completely got bought up as futures are up there. I'm down 60% of my entire portfolio. I'm looking at you as my savior. Well, you know, you have to put in the work, but all I can do is just show you my lessons learned. That's all I'm doing, is showing everybody my lessons learned. The things I learned in the market. I've blown up an account. I've blown up a $60,000 or $58,000 account. I've lost it all. I've had big losses. I've had monumental wins. I've had 6-figure days. I've had 5-figure loss days. I've done it all. So, and I can help you. You know, I can help you. But only you can, like he said it right, only you can save yourself. And the whole name of the game is controlling your emotions. One of the biggest mistakes people make is calling the bottom and calling the top. It can't possibly go up anymore on buying puts. It can't possibly fall anymore on buying calls. And then SPY just laughs at you and continues to do just that. So, especially in this crazy bull market. If you call the top and you're wrong in this bull market, you'll get destroyed, because this thing will smile at you and it'll climb from Monday to Friday, 5 days in a row. So you just got to be careful. Yeah, I blew up a $58,000 account when I first started. You haven't heard that story? You've been here for a while now. I'm sure I've told this story. When I very first started 10 years ago, I lost $56,000 in 48 hours. I had a $58,000 account. I lost $56,000 of it. I had $2,000 left over because I put all of it plus margin into one stock. I won't bore y'all with that story again. The one thing I want to show this community is to strip this Reddit YOLO meme mindset out of your investing mind. If you want to invest, if you want to do this, if you want to put your big boy pants on and then set up to this computer and actually make money, then I want you to do it right. And strip this mindset where you have to make $1 million, where you have to YOLO your money to make any decent money. It's about the long-term gain. Instead of thinking about, hey, I need to make 50 grand this week, think I need to make 50 grand in the next 2 years. And then after those 2 years, you say, hey, okay, the next 2 years, I'm going to make 100 grand. Okay, after you do that, the next 2 years after that, I'm going to make 200 grand. And then you start gaining experience. You start putting money together. You start putting together a consistent win rate, and you make some money. But thinking the short-term mindset, if you need to hit it big, you're just going to get blown up. And there's a reason. There is a reason why the vast majority of traders cannot do this long-term, because they involve their mindset. They look at this as a casino and they do not respect it. Anyway, a little bit of soapbox while we're here waiting for things to shake out here. I did, Wheeze. I did. 10 years ago. Just shy of 10 years ago. It was actually 10 years ago in October. Did you take 447 put today to hedge for your calls? No, I did not. Not yet. You have to. If you don't have patience, like you just have to have patience. Thanks, Sebastian. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm thrilled that people want to be a part of this and want to learn how to do this properly. I can promise you one thing. If I can do what I'm doing, y'all can do it, because I am not a financial savant. I didn't pop out of my mom's womb with, like, the options chain glued to my forehead saying profits. No. I had to learn how to do this, teaching myself. My dad had no idea. He didn't have two nickels to rub together. He didn't teach me crap in terms of financial. I did it all myself. No position yet, Jesus Marchant, Jesus. I don't know which one it is, Jesus or Jesus. 445.38. No position yet. I'm waiting for this thing to kind of shake out. We've got a 80-cent range, a little less, 76, 78-cent range. So, yeah, just kind of letting this thing shake out. Qs are starting to bounce off after that little sell-off. That thing got bought up. NASDAQ's going nuts. Futures are down at the moment. TLT is up. Financial sector getting rolled. So, goo goo gaga spy. That's funny. Y'all are crazy. Yep, start again with $2,000. $2,000. When OM was born, the doctor subscribed to his Patreon. That's right. How do I mentally recover from that loss? I had a big pity party, man. Went home. Woe is me. I'm the worst thing in the world. Why did it have to tank right when I decided to buy it? Why couldn't my big, gigantic, risky play actually pay off? All that kind of stuff. And then I had this thought. I was like, I always wanted to be financially independent. Obviously, everybody does. I wasn't married at the time. I was single at the time. I had this big theory in my head of, and I thought to myself, okay, I know what I did wrong. Like, I can sit here and say all this crap, but I know exactly what I did wrong. And I could either lock it up, shut it down, and go off and grind away 40 hours a week for the rest of my life. Or I could learn how to do this, take this $2,000, learn how to trade with that $2,000, then start refunding my accounts, putting more money into the stock market, and learn how to do this right. And that's exactly what I did. And it took me 3 years to get to the point where I could consistently rely on that as income, where I could actually say, hey, I can actually drive income from my E-Trade into my bank account. And it took me about 3 years to do that. And then here we are 7 years after that. That was the best tuition I ever spent, Ezekiel. That was the best tuition. Right now, sitting where I am 10 years from now, knowing the kind of despair and terrible feelings I had in my head at that time, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't change a thing. 25. I wouldn't change a thing. A firm. All right, here we go. 44523, red candle coming off the 2134. EMAs are now crossed to the downside. Qs are kind of toppy. XLF is down. Bonds are actually still skyrocketing. It looks like we may actually get that bounce after 145. So everything is indicative of a top here. Big money knows something. They always know something, Bryson. They always know something. OM made me FOMO to join Patreon. I know the knowledge I got from joining is way worth than the $5. Well, appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. I'm not looking to make a killing off of the Patreon. I'm looking to I could dedicate resources to do this full time. I want to be able to sit here every day and talk to you all and build resources into driving YouTube educational material, Patreon material, podcast material, all this stuff. 25 with 50K, what job you had? It was part of my military bonus and then a little bit of extra money where I had sold a construction business I started. If I'm a millionaire, why do I need the $5 Patreon payments to be able to afford to do this full time? Because I'm an entrepreneur, and my money is not sitting here in my bank account for me to spend. It's tied up in investments. It's not money that I touch. I don't touch my investments. And I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going to sit here and do this 60 hours a week and not derive some sort of income off of it, because I can't. That's just not a smart thing to do. Do people at your job know that you run this channel? Word is starting to get out. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When we hit 450, I'm locking it at 450, and then it goes up to $10. So get in before it hits 450. All right, green candle 445.36, and EMAs are crossed to the downside. NASDAQ is skyrocketing here. Still sitting in this range. EMAs are crossed. 3 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute chart. Let's look at that squeeze. Momo is black crosses squeezing. Do you invest long term in individual stocks? Yes, I do. I've got a managed portfolio, and I've got my own personal one, what I do, which is long term stuff. What I mean by managed is like a mutual fund. And then I've also got a long term trading account where I have individual stocks that I buy, and then I've got my day trading account. If you are young and you want to hear the best trading advice you'll ever hear, the best investing advice, if you are young, if you're 18 years old, 19 years old, max out your retirement account right now. Go into your whatever online platform that you have to go into to change your settings and max it out. 15% at least right now. That's the best advice I got when I was 18. I don't care what you have to do, is max that baby out. Because in 15 years, you will thank yourself. I don't want to hear any excuses. Oh, my girlfriend wants me to take her to Florida. Oh, I need beer because of the frat parties this Friday night. Oh, I got to pay for this stupid car that I overpaid with and I can't afford. If you want to be rich, if you want to be financially independent, you have to make the moves now. Now. But what if you do, Matt? But what if you do? All right, so a lot of green candles right there, 44546, and Qs are just going cray-cray again. Well, you do have a limit of how much you can put in your 401k yearly, and especially if you got a Roth. I do all Roth, so everything I have is Roth. However, what I usually mean is 15% of your income, 15% of your check. Put it in there. At the bare minimum, at least max out what your employer will match, because usually your employer will match like 5% or something like that. At least put in that much so you can get that money. That's free money on the table. Let's see, 17 years ago. Well, you can be friends with the Ace. 44569 green candles here. Let's see if it. Oh man, look at that. Tech is just going crazy. NASDAQ again is looking like it wants to go to Mars. Pretty awesome, Ezekiel. It's pretty awesome. Not if Elon had something to say about it. Yeah. All right, take a look at the options chain here. Just make sure I'm monitoring things properly. September 3rds, 440s. $3 a piece. Can't wait to put a play on those things. August 16th. Here, I'm going to create a new channel. I'm going to call it OM Swing Plays for when that happens. There you go. All right, double green candles coming to that top of the range. That's mentally bought up, and it's playing the ranges beautifully. Playing the ranges beautifully so far. What am I looking forward to taking a position now? I'm letting this kind of play the ranges here, and the volume is decent. The volume is pretty decent right now. I can't complain about that. And we're playing the ranges beautifully now. So let's see what happens here. Q's are, holy crap. All right, well, Q's blew the top out. Bonds are still climbing here, so the financial sector is still going to be weak as long as this continues. VIX is kind of treading right here, 1542, as the NASDAQ is just going crazy. Netflix, big greens here. Tesla is selling off a touch. I've been here for a couple weeks now and know what you're talking about, so join the Patreon. Well, thanks. Appreciate you supporting the community and joining up. Let me know if you ever have any questions, and I'm here for y'all, man. You know, post in the Patreon room. You can @ me anytime, @ OptionsMillionaire, and I usually check it pretty, you know, unless I'm sleeping, I pretty much check. And then you can DM me anytime. What is a strangle? Strangle is where you buy a put. Well, it depends. If you are you could sell or buy. Selling a strangle, you sell a call, you sell a put. That's outside the bounds of the current price. So right now, 445.79. I would buy or sell a call at like way up here, 440 or 450, and sell a put down here at like 435, like $10 on either side, something like that. And the price has to stay there in order for you to make money. Now, if you buy a strangle, it's the other way around. Do you think we get a double top? Potentially. Lies. OM doesn't sleep. That is true. That is true. Straddle. Yep, straddles. Started with 2.5 as an 18-year-old, lost 60% of it. Trying to get the mindset of a small percentage. Need to make all that money back right now. Yep. I wish I can go back to 2018 and do nothing but buy calls. You, me, both. Where does one need to start with making money in real estate? Pay off debt. Get rid of consumer debt. That's my go-to for anything in terms of investing, is get rid of consumer debt. If you're burdened with $2,000 a month in car payments and student loans and credit card debt payments, you're never going to be able to accumulate wealth. So, you know, I would highly encourage you to focus on driving down your consumer debt, and then focus on, okay, now I need to start pouring money into assets that are going to make me money. The holy grail of being an investor is making money while you sleep. Making money while you sleep. If you can have assets that are going to pay you as you're not doing anything, that's the holy grail. Too late for calls on Qs. I wouldn't take them. Of course, I'm playing pretty conservative today. Can you explain why the movement in the bonds is inversely proportional to the movement in SPF? Or you're talking about, I guess you mean SPX, not suntan lotion. So yeah, the bond market is where big money goes to park their money when there's a high risk situation. So when they want to take risk off, like me and you, retail traders, we just go to cash, take money to the market, cash. That's it. They can't do that. So they go into bonds. When they want to take a less risky position, they go into bonds. So when you have money flowing out of the financial sector into the bond market. You know, they're taking money out of the market and putting it in bonds, less risky. And you kind of see that. SPY is green. Look at the financial sector, though, still selling off here. Qs are way up. If it wasn't for this, I would probably consider taking a put up here. When do I need to start real estate investing? I currently have no debt and have a pretty sizable amount saved up. Right now. Right now. Go talk to real estate agents right now. The first thing you need to do is find a couple of real estate agents you trust and let them know your plan and befriend them and develop a reputation with them. Because if you don't, like, especially if you want to buy up properties to rent out, you have to have people on your side to say, hey, Joe, I've got this property right here you need to buy. Because you can't do it all yourself. You need to have a team. So if you have a good real estate agent that you trust, say, hey, you tell him you find me a property, you call me right away. Even if before it gets on the MLS, you call me right away. What confirmation do you need for puts? This red candle that I'm seeing right now, but this right here, this Q market, now that's starting to roll over. XLF is super, super weak. So, you know, some puts right here would be nice. As the futures start rolling over, there's some red in tech, or the tech market. Bonds are still going up here. Let's see what these puts are trading at right now. I'm yapping my gums a lot today. 442s are currently, man, 26 cents a piece. It's weird trading. I'm going to go with the SPX. I can't trade premiums that low. I'll end up spending 200 contracts. That's too much commissions. Let's see. I'm going to go with the 4450s. I'm going to change it to 4450s. Let's see here, 4450 puts. $20K would be a good number there. Obviously, you probably need to start focusing on down payments and stuff like that. There's a couple of different options though. It's a big conversation to have. Mortgage debt's fine. You can't I don't expect people to wait, dozen years to 20 years to pay off their mortgage in order to do that. So can I look what? All right, sorry, I'm back. I had to step away for a second, but I'm back now. How do I link my Patreon to the Discord? Let me see if I can find the link. I know there's instructions on how to do that. Stand by, I'll get you that. There you go. There's a link. If you follow that, that'll teach you, it'll show you how to link it up. Did you empty the dust container of the DJ room but asked you to clean? It asked you to clean. I did. Yeah, I did, dude. I did. All right, so we're smack in the middle of the range here. Big candle on the Qs, almost back into the range. Almost back into the range. Yeah, I still do deadlifts. I just don't max them out. Sometimes for the people new to the channel, sometimes I talk about fitness. I'll do deadlifts. I just don't max them out. You know, I get tired of walking with a cane. Nice, Michael. Is it a good idea to trade the equivalent of SPY when you trade SPX? Yeah, and usually on the OM calls and puts, I post both watch lists. So if you could choose to play whichever one you like, they're both pretty much the same. When do you think SPY is going in the next few hours? I think it's going to have a chop day, maybe slightly up, slightly down. I think it's still chop though. On OM, on average, how long do you wait to take a position? I work 9 to 5 and thinking about changing my hours so I could trade a little longer in the morning. Thoughts? I mean, it depends. Sometimes I'm trading, you know, sometimes I take one right out of the gate. Sometimes I trade 6 trades a day, and sometimes I don't trade at all. So it all depends on market conditions. Right now, I'm kind of like taking risk off type mindset because we are imminent of a pull down, and there's a little ambiguity in the market at the moment. So, and it's the writing is on the wall of a pullback. We just have to make sure. Only 20 years old. I've hurt my back so much doing deadlifts. Yeah. Yep. I squat a lot. I'm a heavy squatter. You know, right now I'm at 425. I'm trying to get 450 and then 500. So I do heavy squats, and I like to keep my back very strong and very healthy. So. Yeah, I posted a video of me squatting the 425 in the fitness channel way back in. I think I posted it like way back in May. Bottom left, Lee Rat. Come on now. Come on now. Tech. I'm 19 and in college for baseball and got my deadlift to 500 on straight bar than 175 and stopped. Nice. That's a heck of a max for 175. Well done. I mean, it's a heck of a max regardless. Yep, I've done that before, Ace, that exact thing. Nice, Peter, 495. Front squats, baby. Yeah, get them hammies. I love it. All right, so we are just kind of waiting things out here as SPY is hovering right in the middle. I have no problem I'm going to let it do its thing today. Let SPY do what it wants today, and I'm going to get it next week. Yeah, if you look in the bottom left of the channels and Discord, you see a miscellaneous category. It's where you talk about your pets, talk about hobbies, you know, shooting or games or whatever it is, and then we have a fitness channel too. So I think there's a huge mind-body connection. Like if you want a healthy mind, you have to have a healthy body. If you treat your body like crap, your mind's going to follow. So We are, Dano. We're going to kill it next week. Yep, it's been about a month, Ezekiel. July 19th is when we bounced. So, what did you like about yesterday? For me, when it tanked out of the open, and there was a super strong, there was super negative correlation with XLF, and then SPY tanked and went down to my bearish level. That 422.62 was that very bearish level, and then we rebounded hard and just raged. And every time there was kind of like, all right, we're taking calls, it pulled back. Every time you want to take puts, it kind of rocketed. The volume was skittish, just not something that was correlating with my eye. So I like to just take it off the table. Oh, nice, dude. Yeah. Yeah, 430, 438s, 440, somewhere on there. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet, but I'm looking at the September 3rd, 440s, 438s, somewhere in there. Let go. You look like that dude on TikTok that does Cajun food. What's his name? Come on, dude. When choosing your strikes for the day, what are you looking at specifically? Right now, well, it's a little skewed right now because the way the deltas are, the way the implied volatility is, it's a little different. But normally, I'm looking for a strike that's $2 to $3 away and 4 to 7 day DTEs. Normally, I hover in the 4 to 5 day range. Sometimes 3, sometimes 2, sometimes 7. But normally in the 4 to 5 day range is really what I'm looking at. And that usually puts me in a premium between $1.50 and $2. Normally. Today, it's a little lower because the implied volatility is so incredibly low. Implied volatility is 5%, so you're looking at premiums that are super low, super low. All right, we got some weakness here on tech. Futures are dipping. XLF is still low, down. When you talk about position sizes, about what percentage of your trading account are you looking? Would you call large, medium, small? Small, anywhere from 5 to 8%. Medium would be anywhere between 8 to 13, 14, 15%, and large would be anything above that. I never go above like 20, 25%. Not anymore. It's just too big of a position size. And like in July, testament, man, testament. I was doing smaller position sizes, like 100 to 200 shares of SPY, and I was killing it, man. I was killing it. Just because that additional mindset of not having to freak out about a too large position size, I was rocking it. So, and I made more money in July than I ever have in my entire life, except for a couple of moments in 2020. 2020 doesn't count because it was just crazy. But Coastal Alabama JUCO, nice. Okay. I joined Patreon so I could stay calm on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, that's cool too. You know, hang out, talk. It's cool. If SPY holds the bottom of the morning range and if falls and holds, would you consider taking a call? Yes, I would. I would consider it. All right, so we're hovering right in the middle. Have you gotten more conservative positions now that you have a larger audience? At first I did. See, when I came out of the gate, I was actually getting too aggressive because I wanted to prove myself, like back in April and May. And then I kind of leveled out and I got went the other way. I got too conservative. But now I'm just playing my thing, man. You know, there's 4 months of trades that you can kind of see in the OM trade logs. Because, you know, everyone can see with my trades. You know, there's a lot of questions up in the air is like, am I legit? Which is cool. You know, you have to build that trust with somebody that you want to take advice from back when I first started, and that's cool. But now I've got 4 months of logs, so it's like I am who I am. I'm the trader that I am. I don't have anything to prove. I'm here to help. So, you know, people can look in the OM trade logs for the past 4 months and see what I've done, and they could choose to follow me and choose to not. So I play my plays. I play my plays. And sometimes they go against me, and most of the time they work out, and that's all I can do. It's been fun though. It's been fun learning with you all, man, and doing this and helping people. And It's brought me way more satisfaction than sitting here by myself making money, because like when I'm by myself, I make a bunch of money and I'm like, oh, okay, yay. So give myself, a high five and move on. But here I can help people and like celebrate with y'all and, pity party with y'all and all that stuff, and just do this with y'all and help y'all. So it's been fun. It's been fun. I think a bounce for SPY is right around the corner. Well, I'll wait for we come down here. Maybe come down here and we'll look at taking some calls when they come to the bottom. Bonds are still high though. NASDAQ is up here. Oh, you're welcome, Hitmaker. Heart markers. Well, hopefully we can help you pay some living expenses for sure. Here's a 3-minute chart. We're breaking down. EMAs are crossed below, coming down to the bottom of the range. It is lagging a bit. Yep. What profits do I sell on for profits and losses? The profits, I mean, I always want to take a setup that's going to give me the highest probability for a 10 to 20%. I don't want to shoot for 3% gains. However, if I take a play and that's all relay I see for them, I'll take it out. And, it's win's a win for sure, but I want to shoot for that 10 to 20%. And it's all relative. Sometimes I'll let it blow past and go 50% win. Sometimes I'll take that 10% and be happy with it, move on. That's it. Sometimes if it goes down, like if I take a play and I think things are breaking down big time, then I'll sell it before it even goes negative. And sometimes I'll let it go negative because I think it's coming back up. So it all depends. Thanks, Lee Rat. Appreciate it. I just want to make enough day trading so I can send OM super chats. Well, let's get to it. It's just Max. Is there a way to calculate how much money your option will be if it gets in the money? Yes. I know E-Trade, for example, has got an analysis tool that you can do that with. You can kind of adjust a little scroll bar where if a price hits a certain amount, then you get this amount of profits. So you might be the only person who says it depends more than me. Well, the market, it's all relative. The market is entirely relative. It all depends. Every single question I get asked, I can answer with it depends. Because it depends. It's all situational dependent. I think the transition to this from meme trading will definitely cause people to blow up their accounts at one point while they learn. Any advice for those who actually do blow it up and how to bounce back? Asking for a friend. Yes. Small plays. Be honest with yourself. Why did you blow it up? Be very honest with yourself. I guarantee you, if you're honest with yourself, you'll figure out the why you blew up your account. If you took puts just because you think it's not going any higher and you blow it up, that's why. Now, people do go into, so you have to realize that trading long term is a conservative effort. You can't YOLO. You can't do 100% of your position size or of your portfolio, because eventually you're going to get smoked out. Here's the thing. If you do 100% position size every single time and you go on a win streak of 2 weeks and you could triple, quadruple, quintuple your account, whatever you call it, quintuple your account, that's great. But then say you take 10 grand, you turn it into 50. And then you take 50 grand and you buy one stock, and then you take a 50% loss. Now you're back down to 25. And maybe you go on a 2-week win streak, and then you take 3 losses in a row. Now you're back down to 10,000, up to 50. So you have to see The market will get it. Will get it. The house always wins if you go 100% position size. Now here, if you are someone who takes bigger position sizes and you start going on a win streak, start pulling it back. Or if you take a loss, the next play just out of principle, go a micro position just to get back in the game, to like change your mindset. Because like you take a couple losses in a row, you're beaten down. Oh man, I can't do this. Do I need to start questioning yourself? Take a small position size just to get yourself back in the game. There are times to use bigger position sizes, and there's most of the time not. So you just have to know when to turn that on and off. I've never seen OptionsMillionaire and King Jong-un in the same room. Do you own Ethereum? I have at one point. I traded a little bit of crypto back in the late winter. I wish I would have held on to Ethereum now because I bought it at 1,200 and sold it at like 1,800. And yeah, wish I would have held on to it now. Green candles here. Q's green. NASDAQ's there. The SPY want to come on back up. Q's coming back up here. Let's see. SPY is bouncing. NASDAQ. Big green here. VIX wants to round over here. Might want to take a call here. We're at 38 cents on these SPYs, 447s. Let's see. What's my opinion on crypto as an investment? I don't know enough about it to really give my opinion on it. I've heard good things. I've heard it's kind of like the way of the world, where it's going, but I don't really know enough about it to really tell it one way or the other. VIX is rounding over. Things are looking bullish at the moment here. I got 39.40 on the bid ask here. Well, thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. If I can be somebody's safety net, I'm good with that. So, well, let's do it, Nanya. Let's do it. VIX is starting to round over here. I got 39 on the bid ask. Let's look it over at SPX. 44.50s. Those are the puts. Let's go back to the calls. 44.85s are $2.20 each. You know, also change your mindset, man. You know, it is about changing your mindset. And you know, I know it's funny, and you know, people talk about, hey, I just bought puts here, so now it's going to skyrocket, stuff like that. You know, get those negative thoughts out of your mind. Start thinking like a winner. Start thinking like a trading beast, and start educating yourself to that notion, and you'll get there. But you got to get the negativity out of your mind. I know I say it all the time, like Nigel, but not taking a play, sitting on the sidelines is a play. If I'm not taking a play, not losing money, I'm making more money than people losing money. It's a strategy. And if you are just not, it doesn't matter what the technical side of things. If you personally, you as a trader are not comfortable with the situation, if you can't read it, then don't play it. It doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. And that is one of the downsides of an online community, because you see other people taking plays, and that kind of just drives into your FOMO. And you can't do FOMO no more. You are making more money than people losing, but that's true. And if you're in an online community like this and you see people taking plays, like, doesn't matter. Who cares? You can't read it. Sit on the sidelines and be happy with that. Cash is the positions. I need a shirt that says no mo FOMO. I love it. All right, I got 38 cents on the bid ask here on these calls. Qs are starting to get a little red here. Could be a fake bounce. Uh-oh, we only got 2 more spots in the $5 optionaires roll before it goes. Y'all filled that up quick. Holy crap. Well, I appreciate the support for sure. For sure. When did you read the VPA book? A crap ton, dude. I've read that book like 4 times now. I've read it a couple years ago. I started it now. Definitely read it now. So it changed the way I trade. A little bit of both, Brad. A little bit of both. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate that. Yeah, the VPA book is not one you want to read once. I read that thing, all the time. If you are somebody that trades too big of position sizes, to trade 100% of portfolio, whatever it is, I challenge you. Take a week or two, trade small positions, like legit, a few contracts, a fraction of what you normally trade. I promise you, your win weight will grow up because you'll start to think clearly. You'll start to hold on to winners longer. You'll start to make more sound decisions. I promise you. And then build into it. Then start taking a little bit larger position sizes and ease into it. I promise you. You will definitely become a better trader just by that alone. You'll make better decisions. What you see is not rocket science. As long as you can know what happens behind the scenes and start to do this, put time in service, you'll start to be better. No, we don't. If I could get a hold of her, I would offer a free Patreon for sure. Can you give an example of a $25,000 portfolio? What position size? Okay, good example. I like that question, Mohammed. All right, if you've got a $25,000 portfolio, depending on what you usually do. So if you're normally trading 15 to 20,000 of that portfolio, which is very high, try doing no more than $1,000, maybe even 500. Try that. Do that for a week. Get your wins. Figure out how. Okay, this works pretty well. I can make sound and realize. Focus on yourself and realize that, hey, my stress is a lot lower. I enjoy this a lot more. I can make sound decisions. I can let things go, and then go on from there. And then go up. All right, the $5 tier is not sold out. I'll tell you what. I'll open it up for today because that happened very quick. I'll open it up today. How about that? I'll bring it up to 480 for y'all. because I'm a nice guy. Here we go. I did not expect that to happen today. I was thinking like I set that number because I wanted to go through August and like September, but yeah, that happened quickly. All right, so I opened it up to 480. Y'all do your thing. There you go. You're welcome, Mohammed. Yeah. So I've got if you're not using my Excel sheet, my trading log, or it doesn't have to be mine. Use anybody you want or do your own. Do a trading log and start figuring out your consistency. And I promise you, it'll get better. You need to write a book, How to Be OM. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I would write a book, but yeah, I don't know if there's that much about me that's interesting. All right, Patreon. The Patreon is back open until 480. I increased it to 480 instead of 450. So you go ahead. All right, red candle here, SPY, right in the middle of the range. What would you say if Anna Coling reached out to you to talk about how you applied her book? I would love that. I would love that. Yeah, so on top of that, it's a good point. We do need to stop doing the PDF for free because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I know how you write a book, one word at a time, for sure. Are you going to tell them that they only get 2 weeks when they are afraid of the front, or just leave that as a surprise? What do you mean? Do you have a link to the Patreon? Yeah, let me get that for you. All right, 445.39, right in the middle of this range. Any other books you recommend? Yeah. I've got the Hedge Fund Market Wizards, fantastic book. It's a very macro book, high level book. Hold on, I'll get you. I got a couple of books here that I can recommend. I made a list. When people kept asking, I made a list of all the books that I've read. Book club, yeah. All the books I read, yeah, man. All I do is read books. You know how many books I read? I wasn't allowed to have a TV as a kid, so from the time I was like 5 years old until I was in college, all I did was read. That was it. Trading the Zone is fantastic. Trying to think. Oh yeah, Trading the Zone. There you go. You just said that. Trading Code is fantastic. Let me think. How to Make Money in Stocks. I'm reading my book, my list behind me here. Hedge Fund Market Wizards. I know they're not trading books, but Extreme Ownership and Can't Hurt Me. Those are two fantastic books in terms of mindset. You have to have a mindset of take no prisoners, No excuses. Look yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Reminiscent Stock Operator. There you go. Great book. Yep, read that one. How to Trade Stocks. Read that one. Great book. I can. Yeah, I can post to John Har. Yeah. All right. So SPY is not moving at all right here in the middle. Not at all. Chris Smith, thank you for joining, buddy. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, my computer shut down and now I'm back in Discord, but can't get access no matter what emoji I click on help. Do you have the ability to DM me or any of the moderators? I've heard good things about that one, Justin. I haven't read that one. I'll take a look at that. Dano, thanks for joining the Patreon. Appreciate that. Do you think Apple is going to hit the 151 mark? It could. It could. I think we're going to have a little downside before we go up that high, but yeah. I mean, I have Apple. I'm holding Apple in my long term, so. All right, here's a green candle. 38 cents, 39. All right, so I've got my calls primed up here. I'd love to take a call as the Nasdaq's climbing. The futures are starting to rise up here. Financial sector is kind of weak. If we see a little bit of rotation out of bonds again, we'll have another repeat of yesterday. Not quite as bullish, but we'll have a little repeat of yesterday. And that's what I'm really focusing on. Do I ever trade any FAANG options? Not anymore. I used to. Not anymore. Made a lot of money on Apple and Amazon, stuff like that. Tesla. FAANG T. I guess you can call it FAANG T. All right, 39 cents. We're starting to rise up here. But I see selling on tech right there. I'm really watching the bonds and XLF. If I see rotation, that's when I'll start throwing money into some options, some calls. TLT, old scrap iron. Yep, it's middle of the range. That's why I'm looking for a rotation, because right now it's stuck right in the middle of the range. Always have a thesis. Always form a thesis. Even if it's a bad one, at least have a thesis. I promise you, as long as you start doing that before you take a position other than, oh, I think it's going to do this, then I promise you, you'll be better. Thanos sold his Infinity Stones to fund the options trading account. Join. Thank you, Brad P. I appreciate that. Man, I appreciate all of you, man. It's been a fantastic run. And we've been here for 4 months, and this is just the beginning, man. I am here to dedicate myself to helping you all. Like, I get more joy out of somebody messaging me saying, I've made more money since joining here than ever before. That gives me more joy than any profits I can make. So I love helping people, man. I love answering questions as much as I can. And I'm not a trading savant. There are people in this Discord smarter than me, but I've been there. I've done it. I've learned. I've failed. I've succeeded. I came from nothing, so I had no money whatsoever. My family had no money, and here I am. So if I can just impart any of my wisdom on anybody, then I've succeeded. Thanks, Bullberry Rider. Appreciate that. The TLT, the 20-year bonds. So volume right now is not really much. It's not. There's not much of it right now. I know I see this kind of like the bullish action here on here, but the big thing I'm looking at is there's the bonds. So we've got some red here on the bonds, and we've got the financial sector down. Now it did this yesterday. Look, it did it yesterday. Once we get, I mean, it's kind of mimicking the action too. A little pop up and drop down, a little pop up and then drop down. So if we get just more rotation back into the financial sector, with tech being this strong, we'll have a repeat of yesterday, at least to a certain extent, and that's what I'm looking for. I've got my calls drilled up here. I got 38 cents on the calls, 447 calls, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And here's the thing, like Hayden says, I'm still not winning all the time, but at least with you, I'm learning as to why I'm losing, keep myself from making dumb decisions. Yeah. And I'm like, here's the thing, I'm going to be real with you. I am not here to beat my chest and tell you I'm the greatest trader, to tell you that you're going to be rich beyond all your wildest dreams, because you're not, at least not yet. You have to learn how to do this. It took me 10 years to hit the big time, I guess you can call it, whatever it is. And that's only because I had a crazy 2020 year that I was smart enough to put positions in a play that's going to make me a lot of money. And I want to pass that on to you. So it's not easy. It's not going to be quick, but that's what I'm here for, is tell you the truth, because there's so much misinformation out there. There's so much information out there. Most of what the crap you see on Reddit is a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense. 100% return yesterday. Let go. Nice. Due to my comfort with the OM principles, I've increased my account today. Couldn't be happier. Well done. I love to see it. I love to see it. Normally, I use the 3 and 5 secret Venush. I don't do any 1 minute at all. I stay off the 1 minute. 3 and 5 minute. SPY right here. Still can't shake this middle range here. I'm really focusing on. Oh, we got some red in the bonds here. XLF is slow. Oh, okay. Sell off in tech here. Financial sector's coming up. We have this gap up. This look yesterday. This little gap starts to buy up as bonds start to roll off here. So this is what I'm looking at. EMAs are sandwiched in so tight you can barely even see any space. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. People think they're honorable with diamond hands and holding positions till they're 90% loss, and it's just idiotic. Congratulations. You bought some calls on GameStop and it rocketed and you made a crap ton of money. Why are you going to let it crash? What, do you want more than a 50,000% gain? You want more than a 20,000? I was seeing 20,000% gains. Not dollars, percent. It's like, do you want more than that? Why are you holding this position? Why do I use one? Why do I not use 1 minute? Because 1 minute is not any time frame. It's hard to play anything with 1 minute because you're constantly getting shaken out. Red, green, red, green. It's just ridiculous. I like to base my plays based on trends. The more time frame you consider, the more trend you have, the more probability you have on your side. It's all about probabilities. 1 minute, there is no probability. Do I take profits out of my day trading account to invest in long term? Yes, I do. Every quarter, I skim off. I have a dollar amount on which I maintain my trading account. Sometimes, rarely, I'll fluctuate that dollar amount if I want to take advantage of a certain situation. But my goal is every quarter, I've got a dollar amount on which I'm comfortable having that in there. I skim that amount off and I put it in my long-term trading account. Or if I'm ready to take on another real estate property, I'll use that to fund another real estate purchase. Do I sell credit spreads? I sell strangles. When the market conditions are appropriate, I'll sell some strangles. Spencer, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining. And I'll increase it. You know, if we hit 480, I'll increase it again today. I want people to be able to get in here before. My whole point of this was to allow August, for people to get in the $5 in the August, and then in September I'll change it to $10. But obviously that happened a little too quick. So, would you do a video on your trading setup? Yeah, I could do that. You know what? I'll do that today. It shouldn't take too long to do that one. I could do that. Where do you suggest to buy? Anywhere where you can drive value. Now, in terms of like I don't mean necessarily city, because you can have an excuse for anything, or not excuse, but an argument for any port of the United States. Right now, I'm only privy to the southeastern United States. In terms of what a real estate agent told me a long time ago, is that one, you want to buy the crappiest house in the nicest neighborhood, not the other way around. Crappiest house, nicest neighborhood. Two, you want to be close to some good high quality grocery stores and a good school system. If you can meet those criteria, you can charge anything you want relatively and get it. And you can get good tenants. The further away you get from good school zones, the further away you get from decent grocery stores, the less quality tenant you're going to have. It's all about the school zone is the key to a rental property. The school zone is the key. If you can get a good school zone, there are fathers and mothers out there that for some reason or another can't get in a house. They can't buy their own home, so they have to rent. They're forced to rent. They don't want to live in an apartment. They want to get their kids in a school zone, and they'll pay a year in advance to get your house if it's in a good school zone. And it's happened. School zones are the key to a real estate property. If you focus on the school zones, you can right there eliminate the bad tenants. All right, so we are smack in the middle. Not moving. We're kind of trending up. Bonds are wanting to sell off, but still not doing it just yet. I'm watching that closely. XLF is starting to curl here. So I'm close to calls on this position. Neither. I usually don't hold positions through J-Pal's speeches. I go pretty much all cash through his speeches. All right, here we go. TLT is starting to round over. XLF is bouncing. Yeah. Bounce. Q's there. Futures big green. 40. Oh, man. 40 on these contracts already. Let's go to the SPX. Yeah, sorry. 227 on these things. Bonds are gapping up on the SPF there. I'm going with the August 16th today. August 16th. See, that thing got wicked out there at the top. That's concerning here. I want the bonds to roll over and really inject some volatility in the XLF and just to really carry that away. NASDAQ is still kind of holding on. Futures are kind of wicked out there. Because a lot of big money trades that stuff, especially pre-market. You really want to do that. And I've got this live stream, the live data on the futures. So, and it usually you can kind of pin it out a few seconds before, maybe not even that, but just a slightly ahead. Hey, new to your stream, you're selling strangles for SPY. I do sell strangles for SPY, but I don't really. My bread and butter is long calls, long puts. That's what most people want to learn. I do sell strangles every now and then when the conditions are right, and I'll talk about that. And anybody can ask me that question for sure. Why isn't futures live data free? I couldn't give a good answer for that. I know when you sign up for data, they make you sign all this stuff that you're not a professional trader, and you're not using this for institutional investing and stuff like that. So, I'm sure it costs them money to provide that service, so you have to pay for that service as well. I've learned more from watching your live streams in the past 2 weeks than I have on my own all year. Well, thanks for being here. But I love hearing that stuff, man. That's the whole point of the whole thing, is that right there. If you can learn what happens behind the curtain, pull the curtain back and see behind this screen, there's a hamster on a wheel, and it's connected all these cables and it's spinning. When you can figure out what happens behind this, you can be a better trader. Why does the money flow in and out? What happens? Think about the big money. You follow the big money, you follow the market. That's why 90% of traders were shorting the market through 2020 and 10% were making money, because they understood what was happening. Everyone's like, oh, why? We're in the middle of a pandemic. There's no possible reason why we should be at all-time highs, blah, 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 every month. And before this, I wasn't on Reddit. I wasn't on Reddit. The only social media I had was Twitter, and that's only because to follow some good trading people. And everybody, you type in $SPY, you click on it and you go to the SPY thread, everybody, we're shorting, we're buying puts. It can't do this, collapse, it's coming down, I'm doing that, it's going to tank. And everybody was blowing up their accounts. And it's because if you can learn what happens behind the scenes, why the money was doing that, you can be a better trader. Technical analysis, lines, graphs, it's all secondary. It's all secondary to knowing what happens behind the curtain. Market analysis. Money printer go brr. Yeah, options are incredible. Yeah, options are incredible. Is it a good idea to get naked options before getting to more complex strategy? Yeah, I would focus on long calls, long puts before you start getting into selling, before you start doing to advanced data strategies. You need to figure out how options work, how they maneuver, how they decay before you start going into the advanced strategies. In my personal opinion, that's what I did at least. Yeah, Denise, a fantastic idea. Yeah, for sure. What I used to do, a little side note, what I used to do back in the day is I would go down to the rich neighborhood. I would go to the rich neighborhood and shop at TJ Maxx and what's the other one? Ross Dress for Less, those discount stores. I would go to the rich neighborhoods and shop there, and I'd get polo shirts, $5, Tommy Hilfiger jeans, all that, back when Tommy Hilfiger was popular, all that stuff. Yes, Leroy, I do. Buy when people are fearful. Yep, for sure. All right, so let's take a look at the bonds here. Still sideways. XLF is still going up. That's good. EMA is crossing 821. SPY is red. Ooh, little sell-off here on the NASDAQ. Sorry, so look, Q's popped up hard, and now they're back into the range. SPY is trending up to the top of theirs. Members only jacket, or is that before your time? You're talking about the Masters? The Masters golf tournament? Since you mainly trade long calls, long puts, these are highly directional and risk and undefined, right? What do you do for risk management? Position size. Oh, members only brand. Yeah, that's a little before my time. I was born in 86, so a little before my time. Yeah, Q's below 34. SPY is kind of trickling up here. TLT is still green. Financials are green there. FAANG is mixed. Chop fest. Their stores in rich neighborhoods are amazing. Yeah, for sure. Apple iPhones are coming out. One consider a long call. I used to play that, and it did not work out well for me, especially when expectations are low. I remember I held through one of Apple's. God, that completely messed my mind. The tech day where they announced all the features of the iPhone 12 or the iPhone 11, and it was terrible. It was the only thing that was new is the camera, and it sold off. So you got to be very careful holding on events like that. I usually don't like to hold positions through events like that. partially because you usually get the run up before and then the sell off, sell the news type event. You're not taking any financial advice, Nigel. You know, when I first went through basic training way back in the day, my drill instructor was 4 years younger than me, and that dude had a booming voice, and he gave off a presence that he was the best, the beast, a man beast, and like he even talked about that. He said later on, you're going to find out that age doesn't matter. You want to follow people that you trust. You want to follow people that are respectable. Age doesn't matter. And that kind of changed my thinking, because especially in the military, there's a very hierarchy. You got officers you have to respect, and there's going to be officers that outrank you that are much younger than you, and it all depends on how do you respect them. You know, how is their character? You follow character, not rank. Most of the stuff retail traders find out have already been priced in. You're absolutely right. Am I considering puts if XLF rejects? Yeah, I'm looking at this closely here. So we're still hovering right here. We kind of got this upward trend, not really going anywhere. I'm seeing if TLT is going to sell off and drive some volatility in XLF, at which point I'll take calls. But if we sell off here, I'll take puts. But there's not much going on. We're kind of chopping right in the middle of the range. It's not really a good play unless you are selling some strangles. Predictions for next week. I do think that next week we're going to, I thought it was going to be today or yesterday when we're going to start at least like kind of rounding off. But with this bullish action yesterday, the bullish action, whatever bullish action we have today, I'd say mid to late next week, I predict that we're at least going to start the weakness. And we'll see what happens. Sometimes we can go a month and a half. The whole thing is, it doesn't matter what you predict. Don't play to your predictions until you have confirmation. That's the whole thing. Like, I can predict all day long, but I'm not going to play to that unless I see the signs on the wall, unless I see the data in front of me that's telling me it's time to play puts. What's the underlying reason for session ranges telling you that there is a resistance or support at those levels? That's a proprietary system by Veteran Exotics. He's in our Patreon, or not our Patreon. Well, he's in our Discord. And he, 35-year trader. He's been there, done that. He's managed, 9 zeros. Like he's a big dude. Proprietary information, and they work like a charm. And it's based on the 10:05 Eastern pivots. So you can kind of see this 10:05 where the range. Our range is now set, by the way. An hour late on that, but yeah. So right here, you can kind of see where the pivots, where the low is. Usually, it plays out pretty well. Morning range is the market open until 9:05 Central, 10:05 Eastern. So 10:05 Eastern, market open 10:05 Eastern. And if you look, I mean, the 10:05 time frame is very crucial. I mean, look what happened yesterday. Here's yesterday. Look what happened just right at 10:05, which is 9:05 my time. Bam, bounced. Look what happened today. Right at 10:05. Look what happened. Bounce. You have to look at that 10:05 time frame. This is what he plays off of. Look at this one, just a hair above. This was a little longer. This is 1030, so a little longer. Bounced. You have to look at it. Now this one failed, blew right through, and this is what you have to be careful about. But I mean, it's an awesome system. It's an awesome indicator, and it's not based on a bunch of nonsense. It's based on tried and true test methods that's proprietary that he came up with. If we break up, then I mean, hopefully I'll get in calls before then. Why is volume so low? Because no one's buying these levels. No one's buying the stuff. Properties in a school, good district, in good school districts, one of the best pieces of advice you've given. I have known countless parents who relocate as the children graduate and move from grade to middle school. Yep, I mean, that was the piece that was advice that was given to me, and it's money. Like it's if you are looking to get in real estate, man, you got to look at the school zones. That's the number one indicator right there. Rotation into XLF and TLT. So those are the financial sector and the bond market. What you want to see for a bullish action is big sell off on TLT, big buy up in XLF. That's a rotation, money flowing from one thing to another. And then you see that volatility come to the market. Do I buy real estate and hold it or rent it out? I rent it out. I used to do some flips, but it was just too much work, especially with me. I mean, I was a guy that I do all the manual labor myself. So like I would go in and get a home, redo everything except for the stuff I couldn't do, like drywall mud, which I couldn't do, but I hate it. HVAC stuff like that, I'd contract that stuff out. It was just too much work for not enough money for the time. I'd spend 6 to 8 months flipping a home, and yeah, it wasn't worth it to me. So just rent out now. I just rent out, and I want to get into Airbnbs. Airbnbs. All right, SPY is green, kind of this slow little uptrend here, this premium killing trend upwards. NASDAQ is kind of figured out there. Futures are signing to selling off here. XLF is kind of coming back down. And we'll see if we mimic this, because here we came down, popped, came down again, and raged after the money flowed out. So, yeah. What are you doing if you can't enter a call with a bid price? Selling strangles. Selling strangles. Yep, that's one of the things I'm working on, Jace, for sure. Yeah, like this, it's so hard to flip a property in this market because things are so high. I mean, you have to be Johnny on the spot and get a good deal. That's a really good fixer upper and put some TLC into it. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money. I mean, if you want to spend 6 months to make 10 grand in profit, that's one thing, but not for me. Not for me. Why do you call this action premium killing? Great question, Brad. Thank you. All right, let's go over this. All right, so look, When I was looking at, I have the premiums for the calls. So let's look at the SPY August 16th 447 calls, and these are the ones I've been monitoring. So ever since right here, was it 4:4 to 5:30? The premiums were 38 cents. Up here, so let's see, we're what 32 to 50, 63. We're 30 cents higher. The premiums are still 38 cents. Now they're 37 cents, even though we're higher, because theta is killing us. Theta is degrading these options faster than the price climbs. So the price is still climbing, but theta is killing these premiums because it's not moving fast enough. That's the thing about options traders. Not only do you have to be right, you have to be right quick enough in order to get the increase in premium to benefit you. Otherwise, theta is going to wipe you out. Flip seems to work the best if you're a contractor and can do all the modeling cheap. That's right. I've been a full-time Airbnb host during the last year. Corporate Airbnb is very difficult to communicate with, gives grossly inconsistent policy feedback, and doesn't return calls. Be careful. Oh, okay. Yeah, appreciate that. I'll definitely consider that for sure. I know in my area, there's more and more regulation coming out to combat Airbnbs. The Greeks are very important. Yep, I've got a YouTube video on the Greeks. I highly recommend you take a look at it, just so you can kind of understand how things work and how the options change. What long-term stock do you put your profits in right away? Good stuff. SPY is usually, I'm not doing so much SPY now, but Tesla was a big one. I've liquidated all my Netflix, so I told you that. Boeing, Southwest, Facebook, all that stuff. Amazon's not going anywhere. I added a bunch on that dip that we had a couple of weeks ago where it dipped like 8% one day. Apple. Raytheon, REITs. I do a lot of REITs too. REITs are fantastic. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. So what a REIT is a company. It's a company that finances real estate. They don't buy real estate, they finance real estate. So what they do is you've got a REIT that, what they do is they go around and they've got all their money, and usually they raise money through investors and venture capitalists, stuff like that, loans and all that. So they develop their money to go out and they finance properties. And there's different types of REITs. Some REITs only do retail spaces like strip malls, stuff like that. Some of them do apartment complexes, like large family-style homes or properties. Some do just office spaces. So you want to pick the REIT that you want to invest in. Now, in order to qualify as a REIT, by law, 98% of the revenue has to be driven, profits have to be driven to dividend payments to the investors. So when you invest in a REIT, you get whatever it is. I know a lot of REITs that I have are 43 cents per share, $1.02 per share, 20 cents per share. And they pay quarterly dividends in terms of their revenues, and they have to do that by law in order to be considered a REIT. Now, I like to focus on REITs that are in large family-style homes, that are not upscale luxury stuff, and that now are stay out of retail. I don't want to touch retail. I did invest in retail REITs for the rebound, but now I'm not holding any real estate and any long-term retail REITs. The great thing is about REITs is that you can do the dividend reinvestment program where all your dividends are reinvested into the stock. You buy more stock, and as you grow, not only do you get stock growth value, but you get the increased dividends. So it's kind of like the exponential growth. REIT index funds, good stuff. Yep. Have I taken a trade today? No, I have not. No trades today. I'm starting to do more future investing, Supernova, but more normally I'm just trading SPY. TRTX, yeah, it's one of my favorites. ARX is a good one. Of course, in the investment fund, the index as well. Do you hold any crypto? No, I don't. My REIT is building a rental housing community. Very cool. That'd be interesting. I'd love to read about that. Yep, this is Chop City. Yeah, I'm watching the premiums been staying. Actually, the premiums are down even though we're 30 cents higher than where we were. So getting killed on premium decay on these things. Yeah, the only making money plays today are selling stuff. Data plays. That's it. Which is fine. I'm cool with sitting out today. Let's close the week off. I think I haven't lost a play this week, so it's good stuff. and made a little bit of money and go on to next week. What do you use to invest in REITs? E-Trade. Sitting on your hands. It's a hard skill to learn. It's funny because it's easier for people to take a riskier play than it is for them to sit on their hands. That's just human nature, man. If you can learn to sit on your hands, it's a good quality to have. Just have that in your back pocket. Yes, AJ. I use E-Trade for everything. I use Power E-Trade, E-Trade Pro. I hate E-Trade Pro. So yeah, E-Trade's got 3 different ways to make a trade. You've got the E-Trade website. You've got E-Trade Pro, which is like a software you have to download, and actually like it's software. You open it up and it's software. And then you've got the Power E-Trade, which is the web-based website that you use. And it's all live updating, and that's what I use. Power E-Trade. I love it. It's fantastic. It's cosmetically nice. You can get in and out of a trade very quickly. You can open up the options quickly. Everything's live updates. Great. It's fantastic. They do 65 cents, and then I've reduced mine down to 50 because I make more than 30 trades in a quarter. So 65 cents and then 50 cents if you do more than 30 trades in a quarter. Bomber jacket. I've got a few bomber jackets. Nice. What microphone do I use? I have the what is this? The Yeti Blue X. I got it on sale. It was like $149, marked down to $99 or something like that. I got that one. It seemed to work out pretty well. I think people are happy with it. Thinkorswim. I heard good things. I hear good things. I've never used it though. All right, let me see something here. Options chain. Let's go to the SPY. Let's go with the 1 week. Sorry, I'm just talking out loud here. Just bear with me for a sec. $450s. Why is everything so slow? Screen's frozen. No, it's just there's nothing moving. I mean, you're staying tight in this range, which is a perfect day today. I'm gonna try to try to sell one of these triangles here and make a little money today. How does the bid and ask matter for a particular contract? Chess today, Lee Rat. A little bit of chess, baby. Because the bid and the ask is, the bid is what the buyers want. The ask is what the sellers want for their stuff. So the closer those things are, the more liquid you have, and the more liquidity you have. Most of the great thing about SPY is that most of the time they're 1 cent off, and you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I will. I will, Stanley, for sure. For strangles, I usually go for point one delta. Is about a week out. Yeah, for sure, boy. Yeah. That's the whole thing, man. Is I want y'all to learn how to do this, and I'll show everything. I've got nothing to hide. Bad plays, good plays. I'll show everything. I know. Last week a dude had, he was calling me out because I didn't post my loss percentages on the last 2 plays. I posted the losses. I didn't calculate the percentage and post it, and he called me. I was like, what? All right, whatever. So, the point is, I'm here to teach y'all, and I'll show everything. I don't care. I'll show my losses. It's part of it. Reality. Part of reality. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate that. Thoughts on how to trade when you work a 9 to 5 desk job? There's not really a good there's not really a good answer to that. If you don't have a job that like allows you to trade during the day, or like you obviously you can't get on a work computer and trade or waste time and all that stuff, waste company time. The only thing I could really recommend is trading futures pre-market or a post-market, trading stuff like that, which you can apply the same tactics as to trade futures. That's really my best advice. If you are able to trade at work, if you're able to do that, then just make sure that you have a system in place and you're not jumping in and take a trade just without knowing the situation. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, boy, as long as you have that kind of thesis. Yeah. Where it's like you enter a trade and you get called into an unexpected 30-minute meeting and you have to hold that position, and like you can't concentrate in the meeting because you're wondering what your position's doing. Yeah. I know the feeling. Try doing it when you're flying in an airplane. You can't do anything about it. I live in Europe and the US market opens right as my work shift ends. Nice. Yeah, that's convenient. Increased my returns by 30% since July 20th and tripled my win rate. Thanks for your videos in Discord. Well, thanks for being here, Matt. I appreciate that, man. It's I want to help people learn, and if you can learn, that's awesome. So thank you for being here and applying some of the stuff I've been teaching and what other people are teaching. Yeah, trading on mobile apps sucks, man. It's terrible. I can't do it. I'll do it if I absolutely have to, but it's terrible. I don't use the VWAP bands. I use the VWAP line. I don't use the bands. Yeah, he probably does. Yeah, yeah. Man, talk about a boring Friday. Whatever. We're trading it right now in this little 20-cent little chop. Blah blah blah. Do you know of many people from your Discord who have become full-time traders? No, I mean I've only been here for 4 months now. This is my 4th month doing the Discord, so I don't expect anybody to go from noob to full-time trader in 4 months or a year for that matter. And that's not my goal. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to just teach you to do whatever it is your goals are going to do. Like if you want to be a full-time trader, cool. If you want to just do this as a side gig and make a little extra pocket check cash, cool, do that too. And I'm here to all I'm here is to transfer my knowledge to you. That's it. With all the things I've learned. Alaska. Love Alaska. I always told my mom when growing up that I always wanted to end up in Alaska. Like I love it. I love the outdoors. I love that type of geography. I love it. Big skier. I love skiing. Well, yeah, definitely, Brad. And I'm here to show you the realistic view of the market. It's not sexy. It's not. It can be fun. It can be painful, but I'm here to show you the realistic side of things. And that's all I can promise you is to show you is kind of pull the curtain back and show you the real thing, what it really is like to be a trader and to do this stuff. Well, I promise you, they can't be any worse than where I am now. Mosquitoes. All right, VIX is selling off here, which should be pushing SPY higher, but it's not. The bonds are still spiking, which I'm sure is driving more. Yep, see. Now, we've got this little gap up right here. Let's see if it does the same thing. Because right now, I mean, it looks identical. Look, down, and a little up, down, and we start this little uptrend. Let's see if we can do that as well and get a little bullish action into SPY here. Qs are still kind of downtrending. VIX is down, coming back down to the 1519. Let's see if we can, let's see what that happens. If we're going to get a bounce or we're going to fall down even more. Why do you only stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Because I really want to focus on content creation, stuff like that, getting things out to the community. And I can't do that if I'm streaming every day. I still talk when I'm trading in the Patreon room, but I can do other stuff. Is it realistic to reach a 6-figure year in, say, 5 years? It all depends on how much capital you start out with and how quick you are to learn. So it's all, I mean, it's definitely possible. Absolutely possible in 5 years, but it's all up to you. It's not easy, but it's definitely possible. What would you say would be a realistic 1-year goal for a 1K account starting out? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I've averaged, I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably 3 to 5 grand. Not adding any more money, assuming realistic expectations, 3 to 5 grand. If you're following a legit, and I'm talking about like if I was to pick up my system and you finally learn how to get a good win rate up and all that stuff. If you're a complete beginner, I wouldn't expect much. Just set your expectations low, because you are going to have losses. You're going to have a learning curve, stuff like that. Not blowing it up is realistic. Yeah, yeah. What do you think is a solid amount of capital to hit a 6-figure year? I mean, once again, it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. I would kind of get away from the thinking of that kind of return and start thinking about how can I just supplement how can I supplement my income? How can I make enough money to just pay for a payment, a truck payment, car payment, or anything, or just try to bring in, all right, I'm going to supplement my income by this percentage, and start small. Because if you have this big 6-figure number in your head and you take a big loss, you're going to completely devastate yourself. I'm never going to get that 6 figures. Well, start small, get realistic expectations, and then once you hit, okay, I'm bringing in $500 a month. All right, let's shoot for $1,000 a month. All right, cool. I'm making an extra $1,000 a month trading. Now I'll go for 15, and then 2,000, and then you start. Okay, now I'm getting $5 grand a month. All right, well, what's 5 times 12? 60, or what is it? 70, whatever that is. So just start go up in increments, and then get to the point. Okay, now I can bring in $100 grand a year. Just go up, and that may take you 5, 6, 7, 10 years, but start small and go up. That's a rule that was created back in I think it was the .com era, because you had this huge influx of online brokers, E-Trade and stuff like that, where all of a sudden these new retail traders can put money in the account and trade, which is completely new, a complete new prospect. So I think they created that rule because you had people blowing up their accounts. They weren't understanding, requirements to maintain an account, and like they created that rule to quote unquote protect the retail traders. We all know what happens when the government tries to protect us. So if you're a new GME, new money person, unexpectedly have 100K to start with my intent, so new with a lot of rope to run. Yeah, because I've had discussions with people in this Patreon or in the server. I've had people in my personal life that have made that kind of money, and even more than that. We're talking 10 grand to 400K because of GameStop, and it's all gone, or a lot of it's gone. And that's the thing. Like when you're someone who's completely new and you've managed to get lucky and make those kind of returns, you still have the new mindset, but now you've got expert money. You're a complete new, but you got expert money. Well, what do? You don't want to give that back. So you just got to be very conservative. You have to realize that you got lucky. You are not a trader yet. You got lucky. So there you go. There you go, Janet. Yeah, for sure. If you can't lose money, uh, I've said this before. Like one of the traders that I follow, his big thing is he hangs his success on the fact that he's never taken a more than 8% loss. If you can minimize your losses to 8%, obviously he's trading stocks, not options. That's different. But if you can minimize your downside to 8%, he grows. because his system is successful enough, his win rate is high enough where he can absorb an 8% loss and move on and go forth and conquer. But the problem is most of us take too big losses, myself included. I take too big losses, and my goal is to always continue to trim the losses and go. And I still have excellent growth. I'm still very happy with my growth. But if I can continue to trim those losses, then there's no telling. Like the sky's the limit for anybody. How do you find support and resistance if the stock is at an all-time high? Well, obviously you can't find good resistance. You just can't. Support, you have to look at the volume. Volume at price, that's what I use. This little gray indicator. I kind of form my supports based on where's the volume changing and manipulating based on these prices. And I look at the pivots. Very interested in the theta trade you were thinking about doing. Okay, I'm looking at the, let me bring it up here. August 18th, 438, 450 strangles. Selling those. Selling that, not buying it, selling it. So that's the August 18th, 438, 450s. Cool for AMC. Good for AMC. We don't do AMC here, though. At least I don't. Okay. All right. So Qs are been on the kind of this little downtrend since about an hour and a half ago. NASDAQ is doing the same. Trading flat for the futures. Took profits on AMC a while ago. Yeah, I got a couple guys at work that made a lot of good money on AMC. Hey, yeah, no problem, man. I love India, man. My neighbors are from I forget the name of the state they're from. Northwestern part of India that borders Pakistan. Man, he's the best dude in the world, man. He's a high tech dude. He's got a big old giant solar panel on his roof. Brings me Indian food like once a month. Amazing, amazing. It's made me have this new love for Indian food. Like I crave it all the time now. And there's not very many Indian places to eat from where I live here. So yeah, I love Indian cuisine, dude. It's amazing. Little pav bhaji marsala, love it. One of my favorite things to eat. Yep, worst chop day in months. So we'll get to it next week. YouTube live in the YouTube chat. If I was into politics, I would elect you to Congress in a heartbeat. Could you do a video on market awareness? What correlates? Yeah, I'll do that one. I don't know if I'll take you up on that. I want to avoid politics at all costs. XLF has some green here. SPY is still flat. Apologize. I'm trying to make this as entertaining as possible. This is just like watching paint dry. As someone with a family in politics, I don't think LM needs another thing on his plate. I agree with you. Yeah, when you do that kind of stuff, Michael, there is potential for very large losses. That's why you got to be very careful and you have to know how to manage. You can't just go willy-nilly doing these data plays. You have to know how to manage these positions. Because all right, let's look here. Let's look here. Let's say I take a strangle. Let's just say 447. Let's just say for this. All right, let's just say that's my strangle. Let's move this down here. All right, let's say that's my strangle. Theoretically, just pulling out of my butt. 447, 443. I'm selling this call. I'm selling this put. As long, let's see. Let me give me an arrow. There we go. As long as this price stays right here and never consolidate, my optimum play is this price stays right here. It doesn't move. It chops like this for a week straight. I'm going to have max profits. I'm going to make a killing on this play. Now, if this position decides, if JPOW comes out and says, you know what, we're going to leave this printer burning for another year, it's going to go crazy, and this price goes like this and goes green, you have to know how to deal with this position because you're going to get blown out. You have to close this position or roll this position. Because the further this goes out, you're going to lose money on that because you sold that call. You're not buying that call. And when you sell that call and the price goes up, you're going to lose money. So you have to know how to manage this side. Or if this position comes and goes down this way, you need to learn how to manage this side because you're selling this put, not buying this put. So you have to know how to manage these positions. That's why it's so important that you learn how to play long calls, long puts, and figure out how the Greeks work before you go into doing these kind of plays. Because you can have a very large loss. Anyway, I hope that helps. Hey, little green candle here. Do you primarily focus on SPY because the volume? What would it take you to make a QQ trade instead? Volume. You know, if I see Qs breaking out, and I don't play Qs all that much. I just left that options open in the case I just kind of get the itch to play it. If it starts breaking out and SPY is not really doing much, I'll play some Qs. But why don't you buy deep in the money options? They have really high deltas and low theta. Because I only do those if I'm going to swing them. There you go, Chris. Yeah, good point. Iron condors. Yeah, this day and age, politics is not about politics, man. It's about beating your chest and being on the right side. It's all it is a bunch of cult nonsense. So it's like Republicans hate liberals because they're liberals, and liberals hate Republicans because they're Republicans. And there's no logical thought. It's like, come on, it's like I want no part of politics. That's why I don't want people talking about politics in the Discord, because all it does is create animosity and a bunch of nonsense. And we live in this day and age where you have to be right, and there's no looking at the other person's side. And yeah, just get that out of here. Like, I don't want politics. Any tips on how to avoid over trading? And that's kind of where you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. If you don't have confidence in position, you need to step out. And you have to know when that happens. Like, you have to know when, are you seeing a good setup, or do you just, are you're euphoria trading, or you're revenge trading, because those are the opposites. If you're on a hot win streak, like you've won 10 in a row, and you start euphoria trading where you think you can't lose, you need to be aware of that. Or if you're in a revenge trade, if you have a string of losses, yeah, I need to be aware of that as well. Do you think the debt ceiling should be increased? I mean, I don't think anybody thinks we should increase the debt ceiling past the 87,000 million that we're in now, but at this point, it's just a number. It's just a number. Like, what's the difference between 30 trillion and 25 trillion in debt? So it's all fake money. I know there's a conspiracy theory on who we owe that money to, because there's like a document out there that says it's a third party entity, a private industry that we owe that money to, and it's not disclosed. And it's like what the Rothstein family or something like that, that is worth trillions upon trillions, and we owe that, they're the family that we owe that money to. A lot of good conspiracy theories about that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's a fun read. It's a fun read. Yeah, trading deep in the money, their deltas are pretty much one. So yeah, you're pretty much trading shares. Exactly right. It's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it. Yeah, political analysis from an economic perspective in the angle. Yeah, when we talk about politics, like there are political events we do need to highlight because they do affect the market. But if you're going to sit there and say, I hate this person because of who he is or because of what party he's from and all that stuff, it's like, nah, that's not the purpose of this Discord for sure. There's only one thing about the politics you need to understand. CNN, Fox News, and especially coming from a military person, and like a lot of the big military events that happened in the past 20 years, everything. I want to say everything. A lot of what's fed to us from Fox News or CNN or whatever it is complete nonsense. It's what they want you to see because they know that emotions drive viewership. That's all there is to it. So, do you think the volume will pick up today? Maybe in the last few minutes of the day, but I think we're pretty much going to have a chop fest today. I agree, Bryson. I agree, but I'm not going to play that until I see their signings on the wall. Yep, Facebook's a bunch of nonsense too. Sure, sure. All right, a little bit of green here. Let's take a look around. TLT is still skyrocketing. Financial sector still holding right now. Yeah, it's definitely not healthy. It's definitely not healthy. 445.59. We're still tight in this range. Smack dab. It's like they're playing with us. Smack dab in the middle of this range. It's okay. I don't mind it because you know what? We'll get it next week. I remember June. I remember June very well. June was a snooze fest every single day for like 2 weeks. Just it was this. And then we had July. So I'm all about it, man. The longer we have this, the more volatile moves we have. Let's do it. Yeah, Butter. Yeah, for sure. That's what people want. It's all about emotions and like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. I do this every day. I stream on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I stream in the voice chat on Patreon every Tuesday and Thursday as well. But yeah, I do this every day. It would have, Chris. It would have. That's what I'm hoping for, Brad. Puts next week, baby. Locked and loaded, ready to go. Have your profits ready to go, man. Don't lock your stuff up and don't take any losses that you don't need to. Negative, John Har. Negative. Oh, thanks, Dustin. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's I love doing this. I love doing this, and I love it even more now that I'm helping people and talking with y'all. So, thanks for being here. Yeah, those that did sign up for the tier 2, the $20 one, I'm almost done with that, man. That budgeting tool is almost done. I think I might be able to have it done before the weekend's out and get that out to you. So I love it. It's done well for me for managing my finances. Categorize everything, tells me exactly where my money's going. So I love it. Should be coming out hopefully this weekend. Well, I greatly appreciate it, Hayden, for sure. Would you ever consider holding anything overnight on the stream? What would it take for that to happen? Well, I did one like 2-3 weeks ago and I lost on it. So, oh, Viracocha, potentially, yes, for sure. I'm not going to do that again until I see the side. What I'll do is I'll trade the cyclicals. What I mean is like next week I'll potentially swing some puts, and then once we bounce off the 50, I'll swing some calls. But other than that, I'm not going to swing anything over intraday. I'm not going to swing like 1 day swings is what I'm trying to say. If I swing a position, I will have the intent on holding this overnight for multiple nights. Have you ever bought a position and then the stock was halted? What if you ever? Do you have any advice so far? I mean, make sure you're on the right side of things. Do I play any video games? Yeah, I play Fortnite with my kids. I actually posted, I've got a category on my YouTube channel that's like fun, miscellaneous, behind the scenes stuff, and I posted a video of me playing Fortnite. I play with my kids. I don't really have time to play all that much, but I play with my kids when I do get to play. Usually it's on like Friday nights or Saturday nights. I get to play a few minutes with them. During the week, there's no time to play though because we're doing schoolwork and I'm working and fitness and spending time with the family and cooking dinner. I'm the cook in the family, so my wife works her 15 to 20 hour days and I do the cooking, so I have to take care of her and she's taking care of us. So she's my hero. I thought you got hacked when I saw that on my feed. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I thought people would thought that was pretty random. Why do you trade SPY options over futures contracts, etc., ES, etc.? One, because I don't want to be up in the middle of the night trading, and I know me, if I dedicate myself to ES, I'll be sitting there at 1 o'clock in the morning. My wife would be like, "What are you doing at 1 a.m.?" I'm like, "Leave me alone. ES is tanking." No, I can't do that. Like I already have enough on my plate. So during the day, I just like to trade SPY. Yeah, they do play some of the Lego games. The kids do, yeah, for sure. Negative, Chris, negative. You do the cooking too. Nice, nice. Yeah, I have a buddy that does crypto exclusive crypto scalps. That's all he trades. He does pretty well with it. I started 10 years ago, Dustin, or just shy of 10 years. It'll be 10 years this fall. 10 years this fall. Can we look at the Apple chart, please? I mean, I don't trade Apple, but we can take a look at it. There's not much going on. I don't mind switching over to it. What made me start? I know I'd tell you exactly what made me start. I was sitting at work. I hated my job. And it was a Yahoo News article of a guy that made like 1,000% win on a biotech stock. And it was just some news article of guys, and I'd never traded before. And I clicked on it and it was like, this guy made 1,000% investing in biotech. And I was like, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of grinding away. And I was like, what, 24, 25 at the time. So I immediately on the spot Googled trading. I opened up an E-Trade account right then and there. I put money in there and I started trading. And then I put my military bonus in there. I put some money from a sale of a company in there. And I started trading. Contracting specialist. All it is a fancy term for a buyer and seller for the military. All right, well, this is Apple here. They're peaked out 149. This is the 1 year of Apple. Done very well this summer. Coming on down from 53 back in the 20 all the way up here to 150. I do love me some Apple. Nice, Bull Bear. Yeah. You gotta keep a happy wife, man. They're the backbone, dude. Nice, Tony. Nice. Yeah, I had a guy at work that made a killing on GameStop, like a big win. So that's right. Happy wife, happy life. There you go. Hopefully on a good scalp day. Yeah, wait till you get a good green day and then do it. Show your profits loss and say, "Will you marry me?" Man, this is nuts. Look at this. All morning, just tight little range. How many trades do we average in a day? It depends. Sometimes I'll do one trade. Sometimes I do none. Sometimes I do 6 or 7. So I think the most I've traded since joining the Discord in a single day was 7 trades. That's awesome. $1.2 million in a day. Nice. That'd be awesome. That blows away my biggest win. I think it's safe to say that, Butter, for sure. There's a guy on the YouTube live, Lee Rat, and he's talking about a buddy that traded some mRNA. All right. So this strangle I was looking at now is currently trading for 41 cents. I've got it noted at 46 is where I had it. So yeah, I mean, you can see the decay helps you. Do you trade live on this broadcast? Yeah, like when I do make a trade, it happens live with you. So what's our SPY outlook here? I'm looking at a downturn next week. Kind of pitter-patter about up here, 445. Does it get lonely being a trader? Yes, it does. But I'm glad I have y'all. Now I've got 12,000 friends. I've got friends. All right, little sell off here. POC on the futures. Financials are still trading flat, and as the bonds are increasing here. Interesting action for sure. Do you and your friends brag about who wins? No, I don't like to brag about money because the second you brag about it, the market will snatch it out of your hands. Yes, ma'am, Julie. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you've been around since a while now, so you've seen the growth. It's considered rude by societal standards to talk about money. Yeah, it is. especially investing, man. Like people, it's unfortunate because human nature is to be comfortable, and comfortability is growth cancer. When you get fat and happy, and I say that metaphorical, and you get comfortable in your situation, and you get stagnant, and you don't grow. So when you talk about investing, it's like people don't want to hear about it. I've tried talking to people about investing and trading and stuff like that, and they don't want any part of it. They want to watch their Netflix. They want to work their 8-hour job and go home and binge watch Netflix, and that's it. And that's cool. That's for them. But it's hard to talk about money with people because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to be taught. They don't want to be told what to do with their money. They don't want to reach out their comfort zone and take any risk. And you can't talk about money with people because of that. 425 was my last max, but I predict that I'll be much higher than that next to my max. It was back in December I went maxed. My heavy stuff is a little lower bar. Yep. I like the high bar when I'm doing a little higher rip stuff though, because I have to sit back a little bit more and keep my chest more upright. Do I run a workout program? No, I don't. I mean, I do my own programming. I used to own a gym, so I'm good at that stuff. But I don't run a program now. No, I just program for myself. I only trade SPY. Well, I guess SPX and Qs. So yeah, I mean, I trade ETFs. We'll say that, but mostly 99% of the time it's SPY and SPX. Yeah, for maybe one day, Lee Rat. Yeah, 6-day split. I'm trying to put some more size on before I get too old. Why would you trade SPY over SPX or the other way around? Volume, splits, whichever. SPX has a pretty large spread. And sometimes I just like SPY. If I see a lot of volume in SPY, I'll trade that. And it's just comfortability. Sometimes I just want to trade SPY. If I see a lot of movement in SPY, I'll trade that. SPX, if I don't see, I'm talking about the options volume, not the charting volume. So if I see options volume is pretty low, I'll just stick with SPY. Is there a reason why I only trade ETFs? Yeah, there is a reason. My entire life, I've traded everything. SPY, FAANG, REITs, everything. And I was sitting there, 8 hours a day just charting, like going through chart after chart and reading news articles and trying to figure out when the next big play is. And I'm not a guy who sits in front of the computer. I'm an outdoorsy guy. So I hated it. I got tired of it until I kind of stumbled upon this SPY only system, and it's paid off huge. Like I've made more money doing this than ever before because you can focus all your efforts on SPY. And it's also taught me more about the market because if you can focus on SPY, you can learn what drives the market, what funds the market, what is the hedge funds doing, like what are they doing with their money. It's taught me more about the market. So that's why I trade it. I don't have to chart all day long. I can just look at SPY. Yep, I do strat. I am completely. I agree, Drake. I agree. Yes, Imov. It's all I created all, but yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's people People will waste 8 hours a day and time and money on stupid freaking fantasy sports and planning out their draft, but they won't spend some time learning how to invest. And it's just terrible. Yeah, it's super liquid too, for sure. Options trading. So SPY, it's in terms of options, it's the most liquid thing you could trade. 1 cent spreads, high volume. You don't have to worry about liquidity. When you look at an option, you see very large spreads, then you're getting into a problem area. Yep, I do. Look at my YouTube channel and click through all my educational videos. I got a lot of good stuff on my strategy and a couple of good stuff. You got a question, let me know. Oh, there you go, Hayden, for sure. I studied to be a CPA at one point. Yeah, go take a look at my educational videos on my YouTube channel. All my stuff is posted in there. A couple of things I need to update and throw in there, but I'm in the process of doing all that. Right now, I'm looking for the money to come back into XLF or sell off, either one. And right now, everything is just trading real flat. We're waiting at the big anticipation for next week. Anywhere from 10 to 20%. Drew, thank you very much. New Patreon supporter. Thank you very much. So, yeah, let me know. The Patreon channel, that's yours. So that's where I hang out during the trading day, answer questions, talk to y'all. So, yeah, man, ask any questions you need to. You can DM me anytime. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I have no problem with fantasy football. I'm just saying, if you're going to invest that kind of time, like you also need to do some time on stuff that's going to help you grow. And investing is where it's at. Even if you're not a day trader, I'm just investing in general. Open up some mutual funds and max them out. Some broths. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Hayden. And it's not about being the better trader. Like people talk, who's the better trader, blah, blah, blah. But it's not about being the better trader. It's like we got to work together on this stuff. Figure this stuff out. And there's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be somebody with a bigger count than you. There's always going to be somebody with more experience than you. Always. Doesn't matter how good you are on anything. And it's not about being better. It's about cumulative learning. Do I ever sell options? Yes, I do. I'm actually looking to do it right now. Oh, thanks, Schaffner. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Hey, Bob Blah is excellent. Yeah, for sure. Anywhere from 5% to 20% of my portfolio. You sound blah, 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 and it sounds like their name. Bob Blah Blah. Yeah, Bob Blah Blah has been around for a while, so it's like we have fun. What do you think about people like Grant Cardone? I love the entrepreneurial mindset, and I love the fact that he's always trying to show how kind of like people with a lot of wealth manage their assets. And it's good stuff. I like his entrepreneurial stuff. I like his motivation stuff. Yes, they do, Randy. Yes, they do. All right, little green right there. TLT is starting to pop off here. XLF. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Let's look at ES there. I got 29 and 30 on the bid ask. TJ Wilson, yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate you joining the community. Thank you very much. Usually I sign off here at 11 o'clock. I stretch it out to 11:30. I think I'm going to go ahead and hop off here just because I do have a few things I got to do. Plus, I want to get some lunch. I'm kind of hungry. My stomach's growling. I don't want you to hear the stomach growling over here. So, yeah, I'm actually going to do some fitness later on today, Lee, right? Not during lunch because I'm going to eat and then start on some few things for y'all. I think I'm going to start working on my next YouTube video. I'll start writing out the script for it. So yeah, I usually hang out to 11 for the new people, 11 Central, 12 Eastern. I extend it a little bit, especially because I just want to talk to y'all. I'll usually stay on a little longer if there's more volatility, but there's no volatility here. This is garbage. I don't think anybody wants to watch this. However, so yeah, if we do get some stuff picking up, I might hop on later on, and I'll still be monitoring the Discord. I'll be monitoring the Patreon chat room, and I'll be monitoring the market, obviously. That green candle was sold off. So yeah, if you have any questions, throw them at me in the Patreon room. You can @OptionsMillionaire, or you can shoot me a DM. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. If you are new to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe so you can get the notifications for any live streams and all my educational YouTube content. Let's see. I extended the 480. I got 2 more spots for the $5 Patreon rooms. So yeah, go sign those up. Get in there before it changes to the $10. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate all the support. It's been awesome today. A lot of great conversations. I love talking with y'all. Even if we do not make a trade, it's great having conversations and learning. So thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. Till Monday. Hopefully we get some more action at Monday playing some puts. But until then, have a good weekend if I don't see you today. If not, ask me questions. I will see y'all later. I'm out.